people that did not know my story or have not lived the type of life that I have lived decided that they could judge me in return. And because it was more of them in the spirit than it was with me myself, because like I said, I'm in a homeless shelter. They are living there in the least environment. And so they came together as a group, as a community to fight against me, to blame me for things such as prostitution, being a witch, breaking up happy homes, and what else, so being a witch. So they blame me for doing witchcraft because I read tarot, because I use crystals, because I use essential oils in my diffuser. I had that close to me because I wanted to show that it's ridiculous, because people don't think the way that I think, because people don't do the things that I do. They assume, oh, well, she's not like us, she's too different. And then she has the nerve to have intuition and premonition and things of that nature. That's just how my God made me. And we're all made differently. So, and trust me, I've been different my whole life. So I'm starting out with this deck because I want to, and I've rarely used this deck. This is my deck of spells, which I purchased because I just thought it was pretty. I just thought it was pretty, I don't really know anything about witchcraft. It's not something that I've ever delved into. I watched the movie Practical Witches. It's so funny that I just saw that there and made me remember that I watched that movie with Sandra Bullock so long ago and her sister. I love that film, and I can tell you I probably watched that movie more than 25 times. I know I have, because it was so wild to me for the man in the film that he had one blue eye and one brown eye, because that always reminds me of my sweet dear friend in the spirit, David. He had one blue eye and one brown eye. And when I tell you, I've been knowing and been connected to this man since birth. He's the one who made it clear to me, you are not of this world. You are not of this realm. You are so much more than a human being birthed on the planet Earth. You're a part of the galaxies. You're a part of the constellations and the stars. He helped me to see that before I even went to school. I love that man, David Boyd. May he rest in peace. I love his wife too. So we're going to use this. I want to see what they accuse me of, because they accuse me of being a witch, to judge me harshly, to get people to not work with me, so that they could work with me and they could destroy me and tear me down, pretend to be mean, try to kill me. And then if they became so obsessed, they wanted to have sex with me. They were obsessed with my energy, constantly trying to steal from me, playing my chakras, stop my intuition, stop my downloads, trading off my gifts to other people as if it's possible, because when I mentioned them online, they felt like, oh, she can't really do that. That's electronic, right? No, I'm real. So we got two cards that fell out here first. First was altar spell. So yeah, they accused me of doing witchcraft about the rain. Altar spell. They accused me of having a house spell, making my home my temple by anointing it and protecting it and shielding it for me and my loved ones. Does that sound negative? Does that sound detrimental or harmful to anyone? Making it rain. I made it rain. I did the spell to make it rain. This is what they accused me of. Rainfall, right? is what this card says. And then the next one was house spell, making my house my temple, which I didn't. What I did was I knew I was in a place that I did not want to be. Don't fault me for having a diffuser. Don't fault me for lighting incense or sage or any of those things when I was just trying to put myself at ease and at peace and mentally and in the physical, and at the same time shield and protect myself and my children because we were in a homeless shelter. And these people were trying to make us lose our identities, make it seem like we didn't even exist. Now this came out in reverse. This is what's so funny, right? Because they claim me of doing moon magic and doing moon money bath rituals, something about bath water and bathing in moon. So that's a moon spell that they accused me of, and it came out in reverse, so I'm gonna put it in reverse. And then they claimed me of a second moon spell. They judged me saying that I did a second moon spell about divining decisions. Many witches carry a pendulum with them to help them make decisions. I just don't see how these are negative things, right? So even though it came out in the negative, I'm going to put it there, and I'm still going to say that's what they said because it's true. But then every time I talked about it, every time I expressed myself about their actions towards me and against me, all of the many spiritual attacks at every turn, straight, narrow path, long way, anything that I did, they were there waiting to spiritually attack me. As if I had did something to them personally, as if I had did something to them physically, and as if I had did something to them spiritually or even mentally. I hadn't. All I did was moved into their vicinity. And in the mornings, I would open up the curtains and let the sunshine in, and open up the door and let the fresh air in, and stare out at the beautiful nature that we have. That we had, the view that we had was beautiful. It was a beautiful creek, and we had these tall age trees that had the birds flying through them, and the bees, and we could even see the little animals running around outside. It was what I thought was a blessing, and that's what this card says: blessing, self-blessing, which is an everyday spell. So that's what they accused me of. At the bottom of the deck, they accused me of doing intention magic with candles, or doing some type of candle magic. At the top of the deck, tranquility incantation, trying to make myself have inner peace, taking walks in the woods, bringing us sticks, leaves, ashes, using stones and matches. I mean, you have to light the incense somehow, right? I just mentioned about the beautiful nature and taking it in. We had a patio at that time. How was I at fault? I didn't do anything here, right? I didn't do anything, but that's what they accused me of, right? So we're moving on to, other things that they've done, that they did. They accused me of that. I've already shuffled the cards. I do plan to shuffle them throughout. I try to shuffle the cards and cleanse the cards as much as possible before I start filming, because I know that when you shuffle the cards while you're filming, they're pretty loud and they make a lot of noise, right? So let's see what else they accused me of. Anything else, Spirit, that they accused me? Okay. They accused me of doing love spells or some type of love magic. Love potions. They were upset because I was balanced. Okay, yes, most people would somehow cry or come unhinged in some way because they're in a homeless shelter. I had no income. I had just lost my husband within months. Me and the kids had nowhere to go. We had money to eat, and we were in an area where we didn't have any close relatives or friends. However, I'm not that far from them. I still have life. I still can wake up every day, open my eyes, and breathe in the fresh air that God put on this planet. what does Ralph say? Breathing in that good ass prana. He's right. And I don't mean to mention Ralph, but I've been listening to Ralph since about 2013, 2014. And, you know, I agree with a lot of the things that he says. You know, shout out to Ralph. And I don't know what made me think of that. That's just something else that was coming out then. And this caused adversity because I used to watch him. Because, of course, he's talking about diving deep, right? Infinite waters. Well, maybe they didn't want me to play in their waters. Maybe that's what they thought I was doing because we had that bath spell there. That's not, I wasn't doing anything like that. I don't play around in the water. I enjoy taking my baths. They thought I had some type of friendship with water deities or entities or something like that. Let's see. Just one place, spirit. Discipline. But I had discipline because maybe these people are messing with mermaid spirits or mommy water spirits. I'm seeing the word intercourse, you know, but that's not things that I do. I don't do things like that. And you can't fault me for not crying because I was diagnosed with PTSD. Let's see, 2009. And before that, I was already in this routine of regularly crying. I was a very, very strong empath. I still am, but I am more disciplined with how I use my empathic nature because I have cried so many tears. And I tell people, and I told these people that I was living around, you can't walk in my shoes. Meaning, you can't walk my life path. I wasn't trying to tell them they can't walk in my shoes. They were like, oh, you trust that? You trust that? You believe that? Is that what your inner voice is telling you? And you believe that? We hate you for that. Why do you believe what you're being told? You know, clearly these people have some type of mental illness, growth. I showed growth, self-growth, self-awareness while I was there, my stay there. I was in the first homeless shelter apartment condo for over a year while they tormented me in the spirit, while they tried to make me jump out of my shell so that they could jump in, so that they could harass me, use me, abuse me, so that they can make their lies about me true. You know, their Facebook pokes and their Pinterest sticks and pins and their spiritual prostitution that they commit themselves, that they are really infants in the spirit, that their familial ties are really negativity, jealousy, envious, hateful, harmful, hatred, harmful, hurtful, traumatic, devilish, demonic behavior, and I called them out for that. Anything else, Spirit? And they sent death spells at me, and they assumed that I sent death spells at them. Probably because I was saying return to sender. But like I said, I was saying return to sender. I never did anything ritualistically to say, this is a return to sender to such and such for what they did to me. Meanwhile, they put me in jar spells. They were indecisive about me, right? But they were claiming that this was me, that, oh, she's a Libra, you know, and I hate that saying where they say that Libras can't decide anything. Oh, this Libra is indecisive. That's not true. And they realized that they were a failure, but they wanted me to be a failure. They were sending failure at me, and they were so pissed off that I had patience. They were so pissed off that I wasn't angry, I wasn't furious, I wasn't having loud outbursts. I remember this so clearly, and it's just because, you know, like I said, you can't walk in my shoes. You don't know how many times I've read the Bible cover to cover. I can recognize when there is a demonic spirit or evil spirit playing around with these people's energies. Okay? And they're trying to somehow inflict that onto myself and to my children. No, I wasn't tolerating that. I was not going to tolerate that at all. I didn't allow that to infiltrate into my energy, into my space. So then that's when they decided that, oh, we're gonna send her death spells and kill her. Anything that you have to say, tarot cards, energy, please tell me if there's anything that you have. Okay, let's see. The Queen of Pentacles was involved, relating a death spell, and she's going to be receiving a tower. Now, previously I picked up on that there are several women in this energy of the Queen of Pentacles, Queen of Coins. And this death card could also represent a Scorpio. And they're going to be receiving a tower, because the Scorpio is the water energy that's present there within that low income community or neighborhood. This water energy, this death energy is, see, if you look on this card, this is who they're looking to. This is who they're looking at. So they never even recognized my presence. Like I said, they were claiming that I was doing some type of water or death spell, having friendships with water entities, but I wasn't. Is there anything else that you want to let me know about them judging me harshly, putting me out in the cold? A Knight of Pentacles was involved. Knight of Coins, as it says here. As you can see here, he has one foot on the snake, and you see that little trickle of water. He barely has any emotions or feelings for anyone, or should I say myself. He didn't care about what was going on. He's just too busy looking at these people who are coming to them with their hands out, saying, you know, give me money. And this person or these people were indecisive. They were the ones that was indecisive. That's what this means. That's what this card means. This card means indecision. They're indecisive. Two of Swords. They didn't want to see something about me. They felt that it was hidden. Maybe there was an animal spirit, a fox or a wolf or a dog. And see all that water. Look at all that emotions. That's all of that envy, jealousy, hurtful, shame, guilty. That's all of their emotions running. So, but they dressed in purple. They're like, nah. My intuition and my crown chakra is going to let me know, but they got their eyes covered. They got both eyes and their third eye covered. That's not right. Instead of trying to see me for who I really was, instead of trying to see that Scorpio was the one in the water, which they probably already knew, you know what? No, because they couldn't see that. They thought this was me. These two were pretending that this was me. This is who I was. Because they didn't care, because they just wanted to get that money. You know, like I said, yeah. Because they were doing magic. There was some magic going on. See, now this person has the snake in their hand. The magician usually points upwards and points downwards with the other hand, as above, so below. So they were trying to make, oh, I'm getting illusions and deceit, hurtful, harmful experiences, things that they were trying to do. Let's see what's at the bottom of the deck. Yeah, gossip, sending out communications, downloads, and information to other messages. This is also text messages or social media posts or something within the mail. They stole my mail. You know, when you're in a homeless shelter, you're not allowed to have mail. But at the same time, the USPS services do not stop delivering mail to that mailbox. Mail still comes, whether it's in junk mail form or someone who previously lived there. And so I used to constantly have to go out and tell the mail people, hey, I cannot accept that mail. I'm not allowed to have mail here. Can you please take that mail back and let them know that these people don't live at this address? Yeah. And they put me out in the cold. But at the same time, this magician might be out in the cold. They thought they knew everything, but it was lies and deceit. That's what I'm getting. So I just wanted to put that video out there to let people know that being in the shelter is already horrible enough, right? But then on top of that, to have other people attack you in the spirit, to have other people use your forms and your documents. You know, at that time I had to sign up for many different federal benefits. They were trying to pretend that they were me. Every time I did something, TANF. Oh, it's them, because you know what they did? They did silly stuff like putting their tan shoes or tan boots outside. So if something was coming to me in the spirit, it would go to them instead, which I never got approved for TANF, you know. So that's why I always say, you know, I don't allow TANF because I don't have it, because that's part of the mail that was being blocked. The messages that were being blocked that they're still trying to do, that they won't get away with. So before I started this video, I prayed and I cleansed the energies, and I thought about all of the different things that was done that I wanted to discuss anyway, because I look at it like this. If someone says that you're a witch, maybe that's how they see you in their story. When I say story, I mean life. But that doesn't make it true. And the cards showed you. I don't have to make up the story, you know. The cards showed you that this was in their minds. See? Grief. Because they were stuck in their imagination looking at illusions, deceit, delusions, false light, entities in the water and on land, things floating in the air. They're grieving because they wanted to make all of this true about me, and it wasn't. Yes, they became a part of my story. I judged them. It was not harshly, it was factually, it was truthfully, and that's why the name of my channel at that time was Tavi's Truths. Because I was going through a very difficult time. People would call it a hard time, but I would just say difficult. And they wanted to put even more harsh things onto me that I didn't deserve, that I didn't ask for, that I did no actions or speaking of any words towards the people around me, including the shelter and the people that the shelter worked with, to cause them to come for me so harshly, so judgmentally, wrongfully, defamating my character in the spirit and in the physical, and trying to ruin my life and my children's lives. And unfortunately, I was right when I made the video back then saying that they will be called for divine judgment and they will be found guilty of everything they did. And they're going to experience everything that they caused me to experience, because they see, at the same time, they wanted to be me because they're jealous of my gifts. But they don't know why or how I have those gifts. They don't know if I was disappointed when I got those gifts, when I really wanted something else, but instead I got a gift. They have no idea. Instead, they didn't come to me either and say, hey, well, how did you get this? Well, how did you do this? Well, instead, it was, shh, don't say nothing to her. Don't even tell her we're here anymore. Don't let her see us. And we're just going to come in her house and do all of these things, because it's not my house, right? I have no authority over the place where I'm living. I'm in a homeless shelter. And they were able to get away with this for the almost 3 years that I lived in the homeless shelter. So I'm saying that to say I'm going to continue to call the kettle black, because that's how I see it. And another thing, they were so pissed off at me because I wore the color black all the time. But I'm a plus size woman, and other plus size women know that most things in our size come in black only, you know. Or if you want good material, you got to get it in black. And so sometimes I had no choice in the matter, all right? They judged me very harshly. They lied to me. Even the homeless shelter lied to me. The people that worked there, they mistreated me. They betrayed me. They started to tell my enemies that I have from my previous government jobs all my personal information, giving them my personal identification, to include the lawyer, to include the private investigators that they hired to try to find all of this terrible stuff that I've done to people in the past, because they were definitely trying to relive my life, and by walking in my shoes in the false realms, right? Because they're false people. And they are able to do that with electronics and with Wi-Fi. These are things that they don't program Black Americans to specifically do, or they don't allow Black women to do in our country, because racism clearly still exists. But at the same time, do I want to do what they can do? And shouldn't I just be happy with what I have based off of how I got it? I'm not going to ask for anything more except for my safety, my protection, my children's safety, their protection, our ability to make money and to have an income so that we can feed, clothe, and care for ourselves without other people trying to cause us blockages and harmfulness and arguments with the neighbors and violence and car accidents and all of these things that they wished on me, heart attacks, and I just praise God. I praise the Most High God, because He returned it all to them times 10. And I'm saying that, and I'm going to close this video. So thanks for watching. I hope you like, share, and or subscribe to the channel. And I hope you return. Thanks again. Bye.